So this is a video I've been meaning to make for months. I am not exaggerating. I have had this thing sitting on my desk as a to-do project for literal months. I didn't even remember what figure I had this from originally. I had to look up the 8622. It's Braun. It's Studio Series 86 Braun, which I no longer have, by the way. But yeah, I have been wanting to make this video for a while. So yeah, basically I just want to show you all how I've been using these backdrops from Studio Series to make my own risers. And it's very, very simple. There are a couple of different ways you can do it. I'm going to show you the more complex version that I do because it's just what I prefer, but you've got options. So first thing is the simplest one is all you have to do is cut this back here. Like you can use a box cutter or like X-Acto blade or something like that. You can use scissors. You could just rip it if you want. But basically, if you just trim that off, like just cut along this seam here, then you're left with the base. And it's open at the back, but it's fine for, for displaying most figures. So like you could just do that. I prefer to have the base a little more stable, so I do more to it than that. So that's why I'm going to show you what I do. First thing I'm going to do is not really a necessary step, but it's something I do because of it just works better for me, is I'm going to take this entire thing off. And all this requires is a pair of scissors. So I'm being very careful with my fingers. My fingers are actually outside of the the cutting zone, but yeah, should be needless to say, but just in case, anyone watching this who is young, get your parents or older sibling or someone to do the cutting for you, because, don't want to risk you getting hurt. Though this is just cardboard, so safety scissors may work, but basically, cutting this off like that. The reason I'm cutting this off is because I'm going to use this as a straight edge. So I'm going to kind of flex all this out so this can be flat. Flip this around, and now we're going to fold this in like this. The reason we're doing this is because with this folded in like this, we can take our straight edge and line it up here. So by pushing it up against the edges there, we now have a clear line where the, like where this is gonna sit. So then we can take a pen and just draw a line right along here. I'm apparently not good at drawing lines following a straight edge, but just draw a line, and there we've got where we're cutting. Now we can bring back the scissors and just kind of start chopping up the edges because we're not going to need them. So just cut this. It doesn't have to be clean because this is all scrap anyway. So cut there. Cut there. And now we can cut along this line here. And so I'm just gonna start slowly and deliberately cutting along that line. Definitely want to take a little bit more time with this. Cutting, cutting, cutting. Cutting. There we go. And that's fine. So, got that. Now the reason I want to do it this way, and what I'm actually going to do too, is I'm going to just kind of come in at an angle and cut this just a little bit around the edges. And this will all make sense in a second. And same thing here, just kind of right about there, give it just a little bit of a bevel. Doesn't really matter how much. Because what we're going to do is now we can fold this in and just kind of fold in at this joint, and just, or not joint, fold in at this section here. Fold it in so that it goes kind of past this part here on both sides. And now we can fold this up and into the inside here, and that gives us a closed back. And that's just a little flashing from there. Also, because of the bevels, if you wanted to, you should be able to unfold this and unfold this. I actually haven't tried this, but I think this will work. So unfold this, fold these in and in like this, and then just bring these back down. And now you don't even need to use tape. That will, like, it more or less holds in place. And there we've got a little figure stand. Ta-da! But for the sake of it, I am going to use some tape just to keep these corners down. So I've got just a little bit of Scotch tape off to the side. Gonna put a little bit here and go around that corner. And this will just make sure that this doesn't, separate out. Very, very simple, but also very effective. Another thing that's cool about these is if you want to make one that's taller, if you have two of these of the same size, you could just stack them on top of each other and then like tape them together at the at the seam where they join up. I have one that I actually did that with. I don't remember where it is right now because it's on one of my shelves being used for display, but you can do a lot with these little things. So if you're in the need, or if you want to get some risers, these work as a perfectly good substitute. You can even use this as like a display base if you have, if you want to keep them thematically consistent. So like if you want to do, use this for like your Transformers, the movie 86 Studio Series 86 figures, you can do that. If you get one for like Studio Series whatever, like the Bumblebee movie stuff, if you have Studio Series Bumblebee movie figures and it's got the little Bumblebee movie thing there, you could use it for them. It's whatever. I use them just as risers. I don't pay attention to what's on the display, but still, it's very, very easy to do. It's a very simple process that is also very effective. And like, as long as you get this so that it's pretty much about the same height, or, it's maybe a little bit less, but like you want this to be about on, at the same level as this, because then it, you don't have to worry about it shifting backwards. It provides enough stability that even if a figure is putting a lot of weight down here, this isn't going to buckle because this is going to be pushing down onto the surface. And with this taped off, you don't have to worry about it sliding out. So yeah, very simple, very effective. That is what you can do with the Studio Series backdrops instead of throwing them out if you need display risers.